They wear a lot of makeup, too.
Ho, ho! Not too much! Ho, ho, ho!
Get the call. Have you ever seen Miss Yvonne put on her...
My wish to fly has come true. I am the luckiest boy in the world. I'm so much luckier than you.
Honestly, I don't know how anyone could let themselves go like that. And Belinda says she does it with anyone. Apparently Toots and Harvey have both been up her. Anyway, so when they eventually came back to the house, Melissa was crying and screaming, making a complete fool of herself. She was all over Harvey like a rash. So this is really hilarious. Harvey and Hamish, they took off her clothes, including knickers and bra, and threw her into the pool. God, it was hysterical. And then Harvey, who was completely out of it, threw up all down his moleskins. So Belinda cleaned it up, made him some coffee, and gave him some spag bol. And then they pashed, and he asked her to go around with him. So everything turned out really well. She's going to watch him play cricket with the old boys tomorrow. She's racked. So it was a really, really, really good party. It was a real bargain. Some kids didn't turn up, though, because they didn't pass exams. I think they were expecting a bit of sympathy, but we just laughed at them. Because they've only got themselves to blame. I mean, it's only 1 year out of your life, and if you don't put your head down and do the work, nobody's going to do it for you. It's like getting a job. If you really want one, you can get one. I've got one. I started working for Dad the day after exams finished. Anyway, Hamish says he really, really, really wants to carry on the family tradition and do med next year. And Belinda really, really wants to do law. I wouldn't mind doing something like speech therapy or physio. Kids, though, not adults. Some sort of job where I can help people less fortunate than myself. I think that's something that school and parents have always taught us. And that's that charity really does begin at home.
I can't tell you what pleasure it brings me to introduce to you now a deep personal friend, Warren, just call me Warren, to sing a classic that he has made a standard.
And now the end is near, and so I face my final curtain.
No, no, no! Ha, ha, ha. Not yet, network control. That's not the real ending. Just testing to see if you were awake. The previous act was Miss Melanie, not Mandy, Miss Melanie Salomon, ladies and gentlemen. Tremendous. And for those of you who'd like to see more of Melanie, she'll be appearing in her one-woman play Pell Mell at the Adelaide Festival next month. And I guess she'll soon be booked in centres all around Australia, except Cranbrook here in Sydney.
Scott has something to say on overseas actors.
I wasn't about to talk about that first. What I would like to say is, firstly, don't let anybody give you any shit. In this life, you've got to go out and get something if you want it. That's something I've...
And learning about their culture. And then I came back to Sydney in the midst of the euphoric celebration of the bicentennial. And I was really aware of how much the media were reinforcing racism and how my peers were reinforcing it, and older people and younger people. So I suppose I want to say, stop listening to people around you and listen to the Aborigines.
Big but great. And I really like 4X.
So why do you think Australia's great?
Well, the people are so friendly, but they're really wild, I think. So you can tell their ancestors were criminals.
How do you think Australia compares to Sweden?
Well, it's hot. But it rains here as well, so... And it's so big. I just can't understand that.
And whereabouts have you seen so far?
We've been just up to Great Coupler Island and down Brisbane. and Erskine will.
Nice.
Good evening, welcome to In Bed Tonight with James Scanlon, concept by James Scanlon, Wendy Spencer. I'm James Scanlon, and tonight I'd like you to meet Melanie Solomon. Melanie, that's the general public out there.
Ah.
Now, Melanie, you're from Adelaide, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Now, up here, you know, on the East Coast, all we know Adelaide for, primarily, of course, is the home of the world's greatest drop, the sparkling ale and the red label. But Adelaide's also known for lots of other things. You know, endless numbers of mass murderers, and the police drove the gay men into the river there. And, of course, there was the massacre at the zoo. But, you know, there must be a downside to that great burg.
Well, yes, we have the Adelaide Festival, which is lovely.
Right.
Once every 2 years. And we have lots of green lawns and hills hoist.
Yeah.
And chooks in the garden still, which you don't really have in Sydney anymore.
I think people do have chooks, but it's against council ordinances, so they don't own up to it.
Well, in Adelaide you still can have it, and it's very homely and sweet. But there is that weird element.
Is there? That's the arts festival.
The true road. Oh, yes, that.
Now, look, you know, this isn't sort of... You know, the arts festival, it's people, you know, in a town that's basically... Excuse me. You know, it's a small town, and these aren't people... People of Adelaide aren't a bit, you know, inferior, are they, the way they want to, you know, have this high culture event going on there?
I don't know.
What precipitated your move to Sydney? If Adelaide's such a wonderful place.
Well, I was working in a job, and I felt that I couldn't really go as far as I wanted to there, so it was time to leave.
Right.
That's the entertainment industry I'm referring to.
And what? And, you know, Sydney's the land of golden opportunity, is it?
Well, no. It's really hard to, I think, for any actors to make a living, and it's equally hard here, but at least you sort of feel like something could happen.
Yeah.
Whereas in Adelaide you don't. It's
It could have up until tonight.
I've blown it.
Have you? No, I think it's probably all right. So, do you miss Adelaide? Do you miss all the things of home?
No, I did at first. I was a bit homesick, but now I feel like I'm at home in Sydney. I've got a car and I zip around and go to the local shops and talk to the next door neighbours, so it just feels like Adelaide all over again. I live in Greenwich, which is very Adelaide-like.
That's why you have to drive to the shops. And so what? It is. Greenwich is a bit like Adelaide, is it?
Yes.
So, you like it in Sydney? It's all right. Treating you well. Okay. Well, you come.
I'm very comfortable, James. Now this bed, I'm a bit disappointed because last week I particularly liked the floral sheets.
Well, look, they got these noisy ones in tonight.
Yes.
They got some clean ones tonight, because I heard you were coming. They heard that you'd be here, and I thought they'd better...
I just got it.
Sorry. Well, been anywhere else besides Adelaide and Sydney? You're well travelled, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, I am. Quite well travelled.
Where else is good? Tell the viewers.
Well, tell me about you. Tell me about.
I know nothing, you know. I'm stuck here.
Why are you doing this? Why have you got the bed segment?
Don't know. Somebody has to do this. All right, well, Melanie, thanks for coming on the show. It's been terrific.
It's my pleasure.
Okay. Thanks very much. Good night.
Promises to North Adelaide and West Torrens to cut down. It's understood Dietrich's behaviour was affecting discipline at the club. Dietrich has played 18 games in one season with Torrens. This was to be his second season with the Eagles after transferring from North, where he also had discipline problems. West Torrens General Manager Tony Farrugia said to...
Bringing openness to those who shape the destinies of the planet. In the corridors of power, behind closed doors, she is the one the leaders follow, jetting around the world to bring words of comfort to the bewildered. Ever ready to share herself with her public, she'll even give up her Sundays to bring colour to our lives.
Hello.
Hello.
Like that. Isn't that good?
Aloha.
Aloha, exactly.
The
That's
aloha?
another dance.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
the welcoming dance. Again, side to side and hands behind, cupped like that, saying, hello, I haven't got any
Could
weapons.
you do that in slow motion for us?
Okay, here we go. Hello, I haven't got any weapons. I'm not going to stab you. See, that's what the open hands are saying.
That's
like
what that means. That's very good. So is that what you do at the airport when you first arrive?
Or you can even do this one, which is called cuddle or love. And you can do it on your own. You don't need an extra person or anything. Again, the hips, always the hips, going like this. And you go like that, put your hands around and head to the side as if you're cuddling someone.
These are very lovely, Maynard. I didn't think you had this in your style, did you?
But no, there's also the other ones that I've invented. That is the Hawaiian pizza. Now, hold the Hawaiian pizza and go like this.
Now we're looking more like a Maynard.
Now, that's
I
a
can
bit
see it now,
And also there's riding the Hawaiian motorbike.
Right. That's very good. What's your favourite Hawaiian movie, Maynard?
Oh, Blue Hawaii with Elvis, because he plays ukulele.
Oh, that's beautiful. And the ukulele dance.
Ukulele dance, of course.
Now, is the Hawaiian dance usually done on its own?
It's usually done on its own, just with one person, and you can even do the tornado too. Storm like that. Because they have a lot of storms there.
Of course, yeah, equatorial sort of thing. That's very good. Have some orange juice, mate.
I will have a bit of orange juice.
Do you dream of one day going to Hawaii?
I dream of one day going to Hawaii and doing this.
Why?
Because that's the sort of thing I've always wanted to do. I'm a crazy kind of guy. I like wearing the shirt.
Maynard, well, look, the second best thing, you get to do it on the afternoon show. Have a look at, thanks, Maynard. Have a look at the mysterious cities of gold.